What's crack-a-lackin', everybody? It's the old Cranky Gamer. I am coming here from the nursing home, and we're going to do our second part of 1995 in Major League Baseball. Just wanted to show that, when you try to do something different with the game engine, it just seems like it causes an aneurysm with this game. And this is what has been very frustrating for me over the years, like especially when I tried to do the 1901 and it just sat there and I was like, the stats aren't correct, the roster moves aren't correct. Even when I do this, where I try to say, okay, free agency's still around, all I'm going to do is up the ante of when you could be a free agent and what the contract rules are. And this is what happens. And it just kind of, I got four different players that have been just doing this. They just get bounced around. And look at this. I mean, San Diego, Portland, Montreal, Portland, Montreal, Portland. That shouldn't happen. This shouldn't happen. And if you think that has changed in the new version, no, because the only upgrade they did was basically baseball cards or something. But I mean, it's just something you have to deal with. Hopefully we deal with it. I just have to realize I have to babysit the teams now. They retire. Yeah, he announced the retirement. Second baseman does not come as a complete surprise. Whitaker's been out of action with a torn labrum. He said it put his baseball future seriously in doubt. Chose to retire from the sport, and that's a shame. So he will not get enough. He will not get enough counting stats. I mean, he's very good in other regards, but he's not going to get enough counting stats to make the Hall of Fame, I don't think. He had a very good career, but I think he needed a little bit more. I think maybe he needed 2,500 hits and maybe 500 doubles and 250 stolen bases to actually make it. He's a five-time All-Star, three-time Gold Glove Award winner, and of course it was the Rookie of the Year. And yeah, so that's a bummer. But that's what happens sometimes. But you can see all these, look, claim on waivers, claim on waivers, claim on waivers. Have the first year player drafts. The first year player draft, as you can see, the expansion teams are going to get first digs at this. And of course, the Padres sucked last year, as did the Angels, so they're going to be 5-6. There are going to be fake players here, and there's going to be fake players from my college, right? So you got high school players, and then you got more and more players now are going to college, and so they get drafted, and they usually get pushed up the system right away. So like you get a college guy, they'll put him in high A, and he'll jump to double A if he's as good as advertised, if his current is close to his potential. Wherein the high school guys will sit there in the rookie leagues and the development leagues, and then the short season A, which is just, that's what it is, a short season for extra development. And that's where all the high school guys that came out of high school for, and also come out of international complexes, like, I'm sorry, the farm factories now. Now they got in Venezuela and Dominican Republic, what has kept the cost down for baseball players in current times is that they created these baseball factories. And whether you want to debate where a lot of people sit there and go, oh, baseball players are so much better today. They have all these advanced mechanics and advanced statistics and video, and they could break everything down. But then you sit there and you go, well, most of the baseball players in all of baseball, like the minor leagues and the majors, are from a small island in the Caribbean. So, and a lot of great American athletes go on to, they'll choose football or basketball and or hockey. And a lot of them are actually choosing like soccer nowadays as well, or extreme sports. There are a lot of extreme sports, MMA or something of that nature. But, well, so I just think baseball of yesteryear and baseball today had different obstacles, but when it comes down to it, the one thing that just strikes me, I mean, for every point you can make that baseball players are better today than they were yesterday, you can make a counterpoint about yesterday that they're better than today's ball players. And when you do all that wash, the one thing that you have to keep in mind is back in yesteryear, and I'm talking about the 50s after segregation went away. In the 50s and the 60s, it was the most popular sport in America, and it is no longer the most popular sport. So to me, the 50s were like the echelon where you had almost every guy in America vying for a spot on a Major League Baseball club if he was a great athlete and a great ball player. So I always think the 50s are great, and they had home runs, and but you still have bunts and hit and run, and so that's what I think. Even without the tools of the system that they had today, or the sabermetrics where you could utilize your players in a better fashion, I just think the more pool of players you had and the more competition you had to get in a big league squad, the better overall it is for the sport. Anyway, so let's continue to draft on this one. So yeah, we got a whole bunch of NCAA guys. We got Francisco Cordova. That's a good player. Coming from Mexico. And of course me, I'm sitting here going, man, if the Cuban guys played for Cuba and the Mexican guys played for Mexico, that'd be kind of cool. But let me see. Oh, Levon Hernandez. There's another one. Levon Hernandez. I remember him. He lasted forever. And I believe he could hit a home run every once in a while. Levon Hernandez, he could hit a home run. He became a junk baller at the end of his career, but he would go deep into games. He would pitch 7-8 innings all the time. And he wasn't like this horribly athletic guy. He was just durable. He was just a very durable player. All right, so we'll go a couple rounds. Current round 72 total. No. Oh, you gotta be kidding me here, man. You gotta be kidding. I'm going to get upset. I'm really gonna get upset. This is bullshit. Where I had the draft as 40 frickin' rounds. What? And it changed. Why would I choose 72? Why on God's green earth? So will that go? Will it say 40 rounds now? Number of rounds 40? Thank you. Will you change it next year? Probably. Will I catch it? Probably not. All right, continue draft Hawaii Islanders. All right, so one. All right, total 40 for crying out loud. Who they pick? They got Bill Hummel from the Wildcats, Frank Marino. All right, Havana gets Joel Thomas, Jim Cox. And this is where you have like a whole bunch of these fictional players. Sparrow Morris. Victor Martinez. There we go. There's a real player. And I think he just retired last year. Good catcher. He became a first baseman DH. Guy could hit 330 with no problem, but he was more of a double line drive hitter. Jimmy McRae, yeah, whatever. James Haslip, Ben Fisk, John Warren, Francisco Cordova. So Milwaukee grabs Cordova, who was a very good pitcher. I don't really remember too much about Cordova. I think maybe he had an arm injury that cut him short. But Aramis Ramirez, he was a very good third baseman, just a prototypical third baseman thumper. He would hit home runs. He had a very strong arm out there in third base. And I think he ended his career, I think he was mostly a Brewer. No, he was a Cub. Okay, he was a Cub. See, he gets lost in the shuffle. Yeah, he was a good power hitter. Look at that, 290, 281. You think that happens nowadays? Nah, nah. In today's baseball, they strike out 190 times and they hit 243. But hey, that on base percentage and the slugging percentage is good. Their WAR is awesome, but it doesn't make for exciting baseball most of the time. So yeah, well, no, there he is. The Brewers right there. Eh. So he only spent a little time. He spent 4 years with the Brewers, but he mostly spent it with the Cubs. But he started in Pittsburgh and he ended in Pittsburgh. That's a nice little career arc for him. We're gonna go up to the All-Star games announced. I will not be picking the All-Star teams. That's up to the game engine. I don't care. People get slighted. Guess what? That happens because fans pick. Screwed over by the All-Star game. Well, we got Frank Thomas and Chuck Knobloch batting 400 in the American League, and Paul Molitor's right there, and Wade Boggs 379. Over in the National League, Bobby Bonilla, and Davis Agee from the Mets. How about them? Thomas Howard from Mexico. He's probably carrying. Oh, there's Mexico. I knew Mexico would drop eventually. What are you gonna do? Piazza looks like he might be getting the Triple Crown. I hope he does. That'd be nice. Frank Thomas might be doing the same over in the American League. It looks like he'll run away with that. Mussina with that 2.1 in the American League. Isn't it nice that the DH is gone, Mike Mussina? I'm sure a lot of pitchers are glad that the DH is gone in the American League. Chuck Finley has 12 wins, though. Oh, my God. That is perfect. Bobby Witt in Portland. Okay, so Portland... Well, Portland's... I don't know. Will they trade him? You think they would, right? Now, Portland's not going anywhere. They're 17 and a half games out. So will it be... And this is another thing I wish the engine would take into account. You got Bobby Witt, who's having a career year, right? He's probably got like 4 wins and 10 losses, but he's got a 1.52 ERA. His WAR is 3.8. You think at that time his trade value, like there should be a trade value point. His trade value would be 100. Like everyone's would get him for a year. They would want Bobby Witt for the remainder of the season. Okay. Let's see. League home screen. Yeah, you would think they would want... This is getting so ridiculous. This is absolutely fucking ridiculous. I'm sorry. Sorry for my tone, but it is. It's absolutely ridiculous that that's happening with these 4 players. So, what I'm going to do here is... What is he? San Francisco? Okay. All right, San Francisco. He's going to have a 3-year contract. It is going to be 1, 1, 2, 5, 1, 2, 3. Control C, V, V. Control V, Control V. All right, no, wait. 3 years. 3 years. 1.25. There. You can't get rid of them that easy now. Stop it. Stop it. Tom Price. Oh my God. Actually, you know what? Say minor league contract. Wait. Tom Price. You're a minor league contract. minor league contract, and you're San Francisco, so you are going to be. I mean, if this happened, I mean, the freaking union would be pissed. Why you? The hell can you waive somebody so much? Um, Come on, San Francisco should be here. There we go, Fresno. So we got the All-Star games have been announced. Boy, the amount of time I have to cut off here because it just takes so long to load things on this game. Let me see. All right, so you got Clemens. He gets voted in with a 5-0 record. He's probably been hurt most of the year. How many games? 6 games. But this is a good part of it because you can pick if popularity will be included or not, because that is realistic. So Alex Fernandez, Chuck Finley, of course, who's 13-2. That is pretty freaking nice, I'll tell you. And it also shows they're injured. So I don't. And then what is it? I'm assuming the asterisk means that they're the starter. Yeah, I would say so. First base, Frank Thomas. So they did this. So this is the game really has improved on selecting the All-Star based on real life application. Sometimes you're going to get a ball player that you're like, why did he make the All-Star team? Like Roger Clemens. Well, because Roger Clemens is popular. That's why. Dennis Eckersley, he's popular. So, of course, he's going to get elected. That's just how it goes. What else do we have here? Jamie Navarro from Havana. Nice. 6-2. Not bad. Kenny Lofton, Bernie Williams, Tim Salmon, batting 360. Paul Molitor, the third baseman. So, it looks like even though Wade Boggs was up there in the batting average, he is not going to make the All-Star team. What do we have? Greg Maddux, a no-brainer. Steve Avery, Tom Glavine. Joey Hamilton is nice. San Diego, 12-4. And Mark Wohlers, 17 saves, 1.89 ERA. He's about the only kind of stopper that is really taken the new type of like pitching multiple innings to heart and has excelled. Eric Karros batting .430. How many games did he? He's 51 games. Okay. Jeez, he's hitting .430 though. All-Star game. Mickey Tettleton became all right, so let's. Can I watch highlights? I don't know if I can watch highlights. Okay.
Score L0, and L. Inning, top. Outs. Pitching Bobby Witt, and L. On base Gaetti, second. At bat Mickey Tettleton, Al. Mickey Tettleton steps in to face Witt. The pitch. Tettleton with a swing. A blast to deep right. Tettleton starts into his home run trot. He absolutely crushed that ball. They measured that one at 455 feet. Al is ahead now, 2-0.
Jeez. Okay. All right, whatever, man. All right, whatever. I'm not gonna go there. I'm not gonna go there. All right, so we're back with the trade deadline. It looks like the Mets got traded away Kelly Stinnett at $279. And got Daryl Sherman and George Bachman. Okay. Steve Sachs finally got released, where we talked about him being on the roster for, it was 8 games, 10 at-bats. I got 1 hit. 1 hit? 1 god darn hit. Incaviglia, who was with Philly, now went to Montreal. He got released. Belliard got released from Havana. And Craig Lefferts got released from Cleveland. Oh, that seems like a good release. 7 years old, 5.84 ERA. And Toby Borland became the new guy bouncing around the waiver wire. Yay! So, but it looks like the fix I did before, where I put them in the minor AAA and I give them a minor league contract instead of a major league contract. That seems to have fixed it. Jeff Reardon, 39, got released. Oh, 8 ERA. Yeah, that's good. Greg Harris, 39 years old. Ooh, that's a shame though. He had a 1.35 ERA. Why would you? Okay, probably, and that's why that's why. Well, I changed it up so it would put more weight into current year stats than it would ratings. So this guy should have been here, even if his ratings have dropped, but he's still 2 stars. He should have been kept on until his performance matched his stats. Liriano got Mike Moore, okay, but wait a minute, that's it. Oh, Greg Swindell, oh, he's out for the year. Okay, Danny Tartabull. Oh, I think he went. Wait, Danny Tartabull went back to Kansas City. Yeah, he made his. He late 80s. He was in Kansas City, so I guess he went back. That's a good one. Rick Honeycutt bounced around here, and Havana 5.4, but the Phillies are going to use him as a starting pitcher. That'll be interesting. Okay. So we got the White Sox now in first place. Michael Jordan's winning attitude has come to town. The Red Sox are still battling them. The Yankees came back, probably because McDowell is doing well and Paul O'Neill came back. Indians are hanging in there, and I'm not gonna say the Blue Jays are out, but something happened because the Blue Jays were hanging in there. So the Blue Jays must have a ton of injuries. Let's look at their injury. Hankin, David Cone. Oh, David Cone's out for the year. That'll do it. So their pitching staff is in shambles. They got Leiter and Juan Guzman, Floyd Yeomans, who came back, and then they got 2 guys that are just should not be in the major leagues. That's what it is. Dwayne Ward. Yeah, they're holding in there. They're holding down the fort, but that's why their bullpen's not very good. Looks like Olerud is pending. Molitor moved to second base because somebody got hurt there that was covering second base. And Sprague is, or it could have been just Ed Sprague was doing well, so they decided to move Paul Molitor to second base, which isn't bad. It's not like he's a great defender at any cost. Candy Maldonado starting. Joe Carter is not anymore. Joe Carter. Sean Green. Okay. Sean Green was in the minors, and I guess he got called up. So they sat. Well, hold on. Versus left-handed batters. No, Joe Carter's not starting against lefties. Okay. But other than that, like their outfield, except for Maldonado, is kind of intact. Alex Gonzalez has been playing most of the year, and Olerud's been good. So Lance Parrish, ooh, they just do not have a good catcher. I mean, but that pitching, that Cone and Hetkin, that's gonna kill it. That's gonna kill your momentum. I'll tell you that. So let's go back to home screen. So they dropped off the planet. And of course the Tigers were not terribly good. The Orioles stink, except, I mean, they got Mike Mussina. That's it. And yeah, they got Mussina and Moyer. I'm sorry. And Ben McDonald's not horrible, but he's not exactly great and good either. It looks like Doug Jones got dropped, and they got Jose Martinez, who was just a middle reliever for most of his career, wasn't he? For real life. Yeah, yeah, he had a cup of coffee in 1994, but for some reason they think he could be the stopper. That's not a good. That's not a good plan at all. Orasco doing what Orozco does, coming in, getting lefties out, but not. It doesn't look so much because he's probably getting played for a lot. Not really, not really. They're not putting him in against a. They're just using him against righties and lefties probably for an inning. John Cerruti. Oh yeah, it's just ooh, that's rough. That's rough, rough, rough. As for their batting, now they got Andy Van Slyke at first base now. Tim Tuffle, the old Met, is playing second base. Of course, Cal Ripken Jr. is not going to do what he did in 1995, which was bring a little bit of forgiveness to baseball for the fans by breaking Lou Gehrig's record. Nope, he's injured. So he will never break that record, and now Lou Gehrig is still the Iron Man. And Harold Baines is doing okay, but he's doing the very good thing he does. He's just a very good player, and he's doing very good things, but he is not a Hall of Famer. I don't care what the hell you tell me. Okay. So, I mean, the White Sox. Oh, well, the White Sox. I mean, we went over their team. AL West. The Angels. Well, the Angels are doing it because they got a great outfield, probably the best outfield in the majors, and they got a great 1-2 punch of Langston and Finley. I mean, that's just what's been happening. Look at that. Finley's 16-3, and he's going deep into games. And Mark Langston's 12-3. I mean, the rest of that. But then they have Lee Smith and Troy Percival. They probably had another good reliever. But for some reason, they are really selling themselves short. Did I do something wrong here? Wait a minute. Because so we got 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I think I set it up to say 11 pitchers. Yeah, I did. 5-man rotation, 6 number relievers, non-DH league. So they should have 11 pitchers, but a lot of these clubs are doing 10 pitchers. Interesting. Interesting. That's all I'm going to say. Interesting. So the game crashed and had to start it back up. Okay, but we got Havana Sugar Kings that are 45-57. So hey, Pete Rose is probably betting them the win. And let's see who they got. Because this is pretty good for an expansion team. This is pretty good. A 441 winning percentage. So we got Navarro, who's doing really well. Chuck Carey is, for an expansion pitcher, he's doing pretty good. Mike Mims, who Mike Mims, who wait a minute. I thought he was one of the guys that were bouncing around. What? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Yeah, there's Mike Mims. Oh, that's Mark Mims. All right, I was going to sit here and go, great, now I have duplicate players. Okay, so Mike Mims is doing pretty well. Jason Christensen, wow, nice. Right? So he was the highest rated guy in the expansion draft. And he was picked round 11. Yeah, because he's a relief pitcher. And so we got Kirk McCaskill, Scott Radinsky. They have a good bullpen. That's why they're doing it. And then let's see. Kelly Stinnett has been on fire since he came over, hasn't he? No, well, he just came over. Gene Shall, 314, 10 home runs. What did this guy do? Oh, he's a Philly. I don't even remember him. He was a Philly for about 2 call-ups. Okay. So I got a whole bunch of Philly and twin offcasts that are doing well. Eric Davis lost his starting position. That sucks. Young Glenn Murray's taken over. He was a good ball player. But and Brett Cookson, who I don't know, but poor Eric Davis. Oh well. He's still doing well. He's still backing up mostly everybody, so that's good. Chris Hatcher is backing up, but he got knocked down as well. So Havana is actually doing well. The Nationals 32 and 71, who I thought were going to do well, not so much. And then the Astros middle of the pack. The Mariners hanging in there is quite a surprise. I'm not gonna lie. That's quite a surprise. But the Angels, of course, with their oh yeah, that's right. It crashed on the lineup screen. Oh, don't crash. Okay. So Garrett Anderson, Jim Edmonds, Tim Salmon with Erstad and Willie Wilson backing them up. Now that is the greatest. I'm sorry, that's the greatest outfield. Willie Wilson, at 40 years old, is still being a very good pinch runner. He's the number one pinch runner here. Erstad is backing up center field. Nice. And then of course they got JT Snow, who's got 15 home runs. Todd Green, who of all people have hit 31 home runs. And I've tried to go through and try to change like numbers and such, but really it just becomes a pain in the ass, because what happens is that the game, starting in whatever version, decided to just like update the uniform numbers year per year, which I guess a lot of people clamored for. So I mean, I'll change them here but this is usually a very horrific process. There we go. We'll give them 10. Because if you choose one that's already there, because 82 is not really a baseball number, except for like guys in spring training that are not going to make the squad. What happens is I'll do 10 and it'll go, it's taken. And then you got to go, oh my God, which ones aren't taken? And you could go all players, but it for some reason I don't think it picks up the players on the disabled list, and then you're just kind of saying, like number 4 here. This is not a pitcher's. This is not a pitcher's. There you go. Use. So what I do is I just go, how about 45? Okay. Like 4 is not usually a pitcher's number. But then again, here's another one. Here's another squad, and they're only using 25 out of 26 of their players. Why? Is that everybody? Watch this be everybody. Watch. What is going on? What is going? Ken Patterson? Okay. All right, so Baltimore rosters and transactions. No, they got 20. Okay, maybe somebody got hurt. Okay, maybe somebody just got hurt. And if I do play finish today, Boston's going to have 26 players on the roster. No. No. I don't know. All right, we're back, and as you can see, Dante Bichette, 60 home runs. How many games are left? A lot. So, like 70 home runs. Yeah. Yep. Especially with like, and you know what? I don't think it's just the stats. I think it is the injuries too. Because that's all I'm seeing is like a whole slew of injuries to like good ball players. Okay, I'm here. I did have a suspension frequency. I did have it as high. I still like that. They get into fights or anything, but it looks like that is going a little too weird too. So I'm changed that to normal, and now I mean, I don't know, man. I really. Well, I don't really want to change it to low because that's going to be kind of weird too. Oh well, I don't know. I really don't. But so we got the team batting leaders here. After Bichette just destroys the frickin' home run record. He might hit 400 while he does it. But hey, what you got 4 expansion teams. Who knows what might happen if you just did that and placed that out on the world, right? Right. Um, I'd rather have it broken like this than anything else. But yeah, Colorado is all over the place here because that's just what they do. That's their ballpark and the humidity. The Braves, Dodgers, and Expos. Okay, the Pirates have the best bullpen. Wait a minute. Wow. How did that happen? Dan Maselli, Dan Plessick, Dessens, huh. Randy St. Clair. Oh, he was an old timer from Montreal as well. Bronson Arroyo. Well, I guess their guys must be injured, but yeah, that's something. And then the Cardinals and the Braves. Quality starts, the Braves. Yeah, the quality starts are really going up. That's what they're supposed to do because we're not supposed to have these huge home run totals. But apparently the game is like, I don't care. Well, please don't. There's this Mystery Science Theater 3000 episode where it's like Time of the Apes, which is a Planet of the Apes ripoff from Japan. Little Johnny's just like, I don't care. I use that all the time now. All right, so the Angels are, yeah, of course. The Twins got the stolen bases. The Yankees are second. That's a very un-Yankee thing to have without Ricky Henderson in the lineup. And then we have bullpen. Yeah, the Havana Sugar Kings with the bullpen. I told you they had. That's how they're getting there. Hideo Nomu, what are you doing, buddy? 241 Ks. Nice. What do we got? Stottlemyre has 214, and Hideo Nomo is destroying everybody else. Pete Skurick, oh, he was a great pitcher for a couple of years too. Danny Neagle, he was okay. He wasn't great, but that's a nice comeback right there. John Franco on the Mets. He's already got 31 saves, even being the stopper. Okay, that's we could deal with that. All right, now I mean, how many games we got? We got one more month, and we're gonna see how many home runs Dante Bichette destroys the home run record by. Okay, so hey, it wasn't that bad. Bichette beat the home run record. It's always going to be tainted because it's Colorado. So. And let's look at, we can look at his batting stats and look at, there we go. Okay, so home. He hit 54 homers at home, 12 on the road. Yep, forever tainted. It is forever tainted, the home run record with 66 home runs because of Colorado. But Mike Piazza did hit 400 for the year, so he's the first guy since Ted Williams to hit 400 in a season. And it is Mike Piazza, not Tony Gwynn, that did so. In the AL, Frank Thomas hit 371, but Tino Martinez went right up here, hit 58 home runs as Thomas hit 58 home runs. So that's good. I'm glad 2 players didn't just like knock the crap out of the home run record. Ichiro in his rookie year, 61 stolen bases. Very nice. Daryl Kyle Houston, rest in peace, buddy. But he did have 2.42 ERA. And Finley had 23 wins. So who's going to win the Cy Young Award there? Wins the series. They destroy freaking Los Angeles. How? How do they do that? That's amazing. Kevin Young. Kevin Young just came on fire this year. Said, "Oh, you didn't want to start me? Well, I'm going to make you start me." And then hits 3 home runs to get to the World Series. Wow. Perez lives humble life. Yeah, I'm trying to look for... Oh, there it is. Right on the 100 life. Okay, so Bichette. I love this play game of baseball. I love putting on this uniform. Comments in a post-game conference. Slammed a 62th home run. Rocky Mountain Ballpark. Setting a new... Yes, because it's not Coors. It's going to be Rocky Mountain. Surpassing Roger Maris. And that's it. That's the story for destroying... All right, okay. I get a better story about living a humble life than I do about somebody breaking the home run record. Oh boy. I got a love-hate relationship with this game. I do. I really do. Alright, so we got Roger Clemens going against Mark Langston for all the marbles. This'll do it. There we go. So Los Angeles beats. And, well, they got a bang-up team, but they got Gary DeSarcina, who smacked 57 doubles. Edmonds is good. Willie Wilson doing his job. Like, it looks like he's a pinch hitter and pinch runner. And not, I mean, they're using... they got Langston and Finley, and they're doing okay. And Zane Smith did a hell of a job. Good job. 34 years old. If only Tim Wakefield started. Did he start? No, he gave up the thing. It's sort of like when the Yankees came back from a 3-0 deficit and won 4 straight. So we're going to have the World Series. And the World Series is going to be the Angels versus the Pirates. And if the Pirates win, this will be one of the greatest upsets of all time. So let's go 1 week. Okay. So far, the Angels look to be getting the best of them. But I don't know. Let's see. We'll finish today. I think if the Angels win now, yeah, I think it's over. But it was good while you lasted. But the Angels in the year where Gene Autry passes away. I finished this, and this is Jackie Autry, and I think this was her towards the end of Gene's life. Cute little story there is that Gene's first wife died. I think they were married quite a while, and this all Jackie Autry did was go up and instead of talk about money or business like a lot of people would or his old movies. She just went up there and said, condolences on losing your wife and gotta be hard and blah, blah, blah. And he invited her to some gala. I don't know if it was another charity or just like a holiday gala. And said, hey, you could bring your husband or somebody you're dating or bring a date or don't worry about it and just come and, just try to get that. Because she was nice. She went alone. And then that was it. She went alone. They talked, and then that was it. And Jackie Autry was I think Jackie Autry was a bigger baseball fan than Gene Autry. I have to say that maybe that was the case. She really did love baseball. But let's see. So we got that, and we can say for certain that Jackie Autry will say, this one's for Gene. Now that I got that. Oh, boy. Now that I got that there. And who better than Chuck Finley to end this? Come on, Chuck. And he does. So he finishes it, and Eduardo Perez, Mr. Humble Life, who... Was he injured most of the year? No. He just got called up. He got called up in August, probably due to an injury. And he did a pretty good job. Gary DeSarcina, of course, did what he did. And Willie Wilson. Willie Wilson will probably retire with a World Series ring on his finger. And, yeah, they never won a World Series. Years without a championship. 34. They've been in existence for 34 years. They never won a championship. Hey, that's a cute story. Okay. All right. You know what? I'm just going to say that is a good story. Win one for the Cowboy. And that'll do it for... For 1995, we did have the home run record broken because we did have 4 expansion teams, which is not a bad thing. Todd Green's the World Series MVP, and I think I want to say... and this is the good thing about this game. I'm sorry I'm a little bitter on this game because I always try to get things... I'm very pedantic, and I try to get things to work the way that I want them to work, and sometimes you got so many moving parts that there's always going to be something going wrong. And here it looks like the injuries, the amount of injuries that the game just permits, skews the statistics. Depending on who gets injured. If good players get injured, I think it skews it. But then again, you also have ballpark factors, and Colorado has a ballpark factor of where there's a lot of home runs that could be hit there. Now, but it also has good things where I could look at the position catcher, and it's going to build the report for the catchers, and it's going to tell me all these career and single season batting. Oh, you know what? No, Mike Piazza. I was going to say that right before I hit it. So here in 1995, Mike Piazza blew everything away. He's got the best batting average, the 406. Best, yeah, he's got everything. But the home runs, I think, if we look, Mike Piazza, 56. I think, Todd Green is top 5. So Todd Green, number 5 of all time. And Lance Parrish, whose career's probably ended. But yeah, Todd Green, we'll see how he does. He's only 24 years old. I never thought he had this much power. Let me see. No. Nope. Well, I guess. Well, he's got 14 in 97. Yeah, I can see it. I can see how he kind of got developed where he has that power rating. Yeah, he does have home run, but he doesn't have a lot of contact. The thing is for some reason he hit 344 in very short time and hit a shitload of home runs. All right, then. And so, like I said here, like the Hawaiian Islanders got rid of Dale Murphy. I am going to say no. And I'm going to put him right back on Hawaii because that is not how an expansion team would work. It just doesn't work that way. He's got a number of years to build it. Dallas Green, of course. Okay, so Dallas Green now. Okay, I do have him as a general manager because Dallas Green is basically has been a general manager. The Mets just, for all intents and purposes, they hired a kind of a temporary manager, kind of like a older qualified guy to right the ship over in New York after Davey Johnson left. But then he went right back to being a general manager. Texas gives it to Oates. You know what? That's fine. Texas, yeah. Doug Melvin was dismissed as general manager. And what? Len Beauregard in a brief. Okay. I don't really care. All this owner crap and stuff, I don't know. I'm not going to pay attention to it because that'll drive me crazy. Marcel Latchman, who was a horrible manager, but somehow he won it with them. Mitchell departing Cup. Kevin Mitchell. Well, he was banned for PEDs all year. Roberto Kelly. He was injured most of the year, it looks like, so he wants out. Hayes. Charlie Hayes asks. Well, yes, Charlie Hayes is going to do that because I know they have. Hold on, Phillies have Scott Rowland. But they also have somebody else at third base. So Scott Rowland is their up and comer. Dave Hollins, that's who. Howard Johnson came aboard. They got him from Mexico, probably a waiver wire or something. But Scott Rowland, it looks like at age 20, yeah, he batted 292. Yeah, he's going to take over. Lenny Dykstra, is he coming back? We'll see if he comes back. The Hall of Fame ballot, which I do like that they've really upped this in the game. So, this one we're going to go from like the no-brainers, and then we're going to go to the kind of good, and we'll have to see. 36 players. Got Buddy Bell. Bobby Bonds, this is his 9th time. Yeah, I don't think so. He was Hall of Very Good. That's a lot of these first-time players, they drop right off because what happens is you have to wait 5 years. Wait, is it 5 years? I'm sorry. Yes. You have to wait 5 years. You get 10 years on the ballot, right? You have to be in you have to be in Major League Baseball for 10 years. And 75% of the people, like the writers, baseball writers, have to vote for you. And if you get less than 5%, you're dropped right off. So that's why you're going to have a lot of first-year players where you're like, why are they even here? Well, because they fit that criteria. So even if someone like Pedro Bourbon, who is 69-39, and he's just not a Hall of Fame worthy player, he's still good enough to actually be put on the ballot. And so we are going to see you got Don Sutton, who had 300 wins. He's a 4-time All-Star. He had a good whip. Kent Tolkovy, he was a very good reliever. Louis Titan, 3-time All-Star. That's tough. John Tudor, no. Bruce Sutter, 1 Cy Young Award, 4 Rolly Relief, 6-time All-Star. He was one of the first big relievers. And so, well, first we're going to do Mike Schmidt. Mike Schmidt, greatest third baseman in the game when he was playing. Probably one of the top 3 of all time third basemen, so he is in. Jim Rice, that's a tough one. Jim Rice, I mean, he has an MVP, 8-time All-Star. He did benefit from the Green Monster, but, I mean, he's good. I'm going to do Bruce Sutter as well. Catchers are a different story because, I mean, he's got 6 Gold Glove awards and he's a 3-time All-Star, but the rest of his stuff just doesn't measure up. But he's the Hall of Very Good because he was a very good catcher. Rusty Staub, one of the most popular players in the league, one of the best pinch hitters of all time, but no, 6-time All-Star. He did reinvent himself, so that's a good thing. Bob Stanley Steamer Stanley, the guy that lost the World Series for the Red Sox, not due to bad managing, not of his own accord. And then Schiraldi came in, and the rest was history. I think we got Fred Lynn. I think I'm going to do this. I am going to put Jim Rice in, and I'm going to put Fred Lynn in, because those two guys are. I think I'm going to say that they are Hall of Famers. Minnie Minoso, the guy that spent, that is now the Mexican, he's not the guy. No, he's not the guy in. No, he's from Cuba. He should have been, well, Pete Rose was a better story. Craig Nettles, a good third baseman, not Hall of Fame worthy. Again, 2 Gold Gloves, 6-time. Phil Niekro. Well, Phil Niekro was a cheater with the spitball, and it was outlawed. Tony Perez, 7-time All-Star. I just don't think he cuts the mustard, though. I think he's very good. He's very good. He's in that Hall of Very Good. David LaRoche, no. Lavelle, no. Nepper, no. Jim Catt, yes, because Jim Catt, he's a 16-time Gold Glove Award winner. 283, 237. 180 complete games. And so I'm going to do Jim Catt because he's got soft stats. And then we have Tommy John. I mean, did we put Don Sutton in, did we? Did I put Don Sutton in there? Don Sutton? Yeah. Sorry, I did not put Don Sutton in there. Dope. And so I'm going to, yeah, Tommy John, Jim Catt, Tommy John, because Tommy John was also the guy, the Tommy John surgery, and he came back and he was successful. Now, this one's controversial. He doesn't have the home run power, doesn't have the hits and anything, but Keith Hernandez is one of the all-time best fielding first baseman. And now, just because I submit this ballot does not mean that that's what's going to stick, because the computer also votes. So my votes go towards it, but that doesn't mean these guys will hit the threshold. Steve Garvey, another first baseman during his time that was very good. But I think he just falls under the threshold. I mean, he's got better slugging stats than Keith Hernandez, but Keith Hernandez is 11-time Gold Glove winner, 5-time All-Star, was part of a St. Louis and a Mets dynasty. I mean, that's just one of those things where you're like, that's how they go. And Dave Concepcion and Tony Perez, they're good as well because they were part of the Big Red Machine. But I don't know. Dave Concepcion, it's just, I mean, he's very good, but, I mean, he's 9-time All-Star. And then Bill Buckner gets a lot of crap, but Bill Buckner was a hell of a player, too. And Bob Boone. No, these guys just come below. Well, no, like I'm talking about Bob Boone and Bill Buckner and Dave Concepcion, Daryl Evans. No. I think that's it. I'm going to submit that ballot. And then we're going to go to the Hall of Fame results and see exactly what happens. And here you see it. Where the computer votes as well, and then it takes my vote into account. And of course, the guys I voted for, they voted for Kent Telkovy. How many games did he pitch in his career? $1,050. He's got two black eyes, but it's not. He used to have dark sunglasses, but see the guys I voted for here, like Keith Hernandez and stuff. That means they can stay on the ballot. All these other guys dropped. So Bobby Bonds, Rusty Staub, Tony Perez, Garvey, Craig Nettles, LaRoche, Tudor. Now I feel bad. I should have voted for Dave Concepcion. And Minnie Minosa. I should have voted for him because he's the only guy that's been 1 decade, 2 decades, 3 decades, 4 decades, 5 decades. And most of it was a stunt, but still. So Buckner stayed in. Sumberg stayed. Necro did. Oh, I didn't vote for Necro. Did I vote for Necro? I think I did. Yeah. So okay. So Mike Schmidt is the only one inducted with 99.3, and Jim Rice is next, and Tommy John. So I don't feel so bad. Like Jim Rice, Tommy John, Fred Lynn. I think Keith Hernandez is a slam dunk, but I guess apparently not. Well, other than that, that's it. So that'll do it for 1995. Next year is going to be 1996. We'll see what happens when the PED players come. Ken Griffey Jr. and Edgar Martinez and Jose Canseco. Let's see if they can make a comeback. Shall we not? Thank you. Get off my interlawn.